In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make poached eggs, and in the 4 minutes that it takes to cook them, I'm going to tell you some information as to why we're doing this and give you some insight about how our body uses cholesterol. So what you want to do is take a medium-sized saucepan and just put about 2 inches of water in it. You're going to bring that to a boil. Now when it's ready, you're going to take your eggs, but make sure that you're using a high-quality egg. This means pasture-raised and organic. The egg should have a bright yellow yolk. You don't want to use an egg that just says natural or cage-free, because that animal, that chicken, could still be eating GMO soy and corn feed. And you also want to make sure that you're never using just egg whites, whether that's carton egg whites that are just very processed and a very, very poor quality egg, or even just the white from the whole egg is still not giving you all the healthy fats that you need in your diet. Along with having that entire egg will give you the ability to absorb nutrients from both the yolk and the white. So now that the water is boiling, you can also add a splash of apple cider vinegar if you'd like. This isn't mandatory, but what it does is it helps the eggs to congeal a little more so that they don't separate when they're poaching. So we're going to take our eggs and gently crack them into the water. Try not to go really high and splash all over the place. You want to keep that yolk and the white together as much as possible. All right, and then you want to make sure the water is at a very light boil. You should have bubbles around the outside. And you'll set your timer for 4 minutes. Now while these eggs are cooking, we're going to go over a few concepts as to why we're even poaching eggs as opposed to scrambling or even having them raw. Now the goal is, whenever you're having eggs, the less cooked the better. So eggs are theoretically good for you, air quotes, when you are consuming them either with a runny yolk, as in sunny side up, or soft boiled, poached, or even raw. If you are going to have your eggs raw, they should be as high quality as possible, fresh off a farm, making sure that you don't have any risk for any kind of contaminants or salmonella. Once you start to solidify the yolk, meaning you're scrambling the egg or frying it, then you're really starting to oxidize the cholesterol. And this is when it can be harmful to your health and cause inflammation. Looking at that, what really is cholesterol? Well, cholesterol is used by every cell in our body. We use it for making bile, we use it for making our hormones, but mainly it's used for our bodies to be able to repair damage in the arteries. When our body deems that it needs to repair some damage, it sends out cholesterol to do so, kind of like a Band-Aid. And it does this through lipoproteins. So what we have is low-density lipoproteins, LDL, or what we've been called the bad cholesterol, and high-density lipoproteins, which are considered the good cholesterol. So when your body has inflammation in the arteries, the liver is going to send out this cholesterol to go and patch some of that arterial damage. Now once the damage has been repaired, then the HDL comes and it brings the cholesterol back to the liver, and this cycle continues. So if you get blood work and your LDL is really, really high and your HDL is low, it's not a good sign. It means that your body's constantly in this state of inflammation and it's trying to send out those troops to repair that damage, but they're not getting to come back home. So why would this happen? Well, we have stress in our arteries from toxins, whether it's environmental or diet and pesticides, but also looking at the inflammation of what we eat in terms of our omega ratios, and I have more videos that we can discuss based on that. But if you're eating a lot of processed foods, generally you're going to have a lot of inflammation in the arteries that your body's going to have to repair. So eating cholesterol does not make your cholesterol go up. Because if you're eating, for example, these eggs, my body will take in a little cholesterol, so my liver doesn't have to make as much. But my body still knows exactly how much cholesterol I need to have in order to maintain that optimal state. Other things that can contribute to raising your cholesterol is actually eating too much carbohydrates. When you have too much carbohydrates, that glucose is used for energy at that moment. Some is stored in your liver and then your muscles, but the rest, all that excess carbohydrates we tend to take in, has to get stored in the body. And it's generally stored as fat because our body likes fat. It gives us a lot of energy down the road. So in that process of taking a carbohydrate and making it into a fat storage, it's called de novo lipogenesis. Now you don't need to know that, but in this process what's happening is you're making free fatty acids and glycerol that make a triglyceride. So the triglycerides are made and they're ready to bring that fat into your fat stores. But in this process, triglycerides don't move that well throughout the body. So they need a protein, specifically a lipoprotein, or that LDL, low density lipoproteins, to take the triglyceride and bring it to where it needs to go, into fat storage. So this is really how too much carbs in your diet will actually raise your cholesterol. All right, looks like the eggs are done. So we're going to turn that off. Now it's best to use some kind of wooden or metal spoon with some kind of slots on the bottom so that it drains. But all you're going to do is lightly scoop that out, make sure it's not stuck to the bottom of the pan. There we go. Good. The yolk is still nice and runny. That's going to maintain most of the vitamins and minerals. We're loaded on B vitamins. We have some choline. Vitamin A is phenomenal in eggs. We really have this great whole food. All right. Now we're going to add just a few of my favorite toppings and seasonings. I hope you enjoyed this video, learned a little bit about cholesterol, and a little bit about the benefits of eggs and what they can do for your health.